Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Brenda Owoburiyosti. We appreciate you stopping by Little Ruby's Daycare Encounters YouTube channel, where we emphasize play-based learning, wellness, and research-based solutions to issues in early childhood education. If you're new here, actually, early childhood education and education generally. So if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, join our family and learn more about the teaching and learning processes of all age groups. Okay, so welcome to Wage. This is Wage interviews, and we all know if you've been keeping up with our Wage series, Wage stands for World Advocacy for Growth in Education, and it is dedicated to the interviewing educators from all over the world. We've interviewed somebody from Brazil, Russia, Ghana now, because today we're interviewing somebody from Ghana. We've done Germany, we've done, you know, um, different places all over the world. And our goal is to keep doing these interviews and learning about education in various parts of the world. So we're privileged to have Mr. Michael Takyi. I hope I said that right, but I'm going to find out some more here with us today. And I'll bring him in a few minutes, but I just want to give him a little introduction so you guys can get to meet him. Michael has been in education for over 10 years. He has over 10 years experience in education, and it is no wonder to me or to anyone that he won the 2020 Best Creative Digital Teacher Award, and that's the EDUCOM 2020. Excuse me. He graduated in 2014 with a Bachelor of Arts degree in social science education. I'm so excited to have Tachi here. So don't mind my hyperventilation. But he graduated with a Bachelor's of Arts degree in Social Science Education from the University of Education Winneba in Ghana. He's currently working on a master's degree in educational leadership and management. Michael has also had been a scholar in educational consultancy and in-service training, as well as strategic school leadership from Ghana's prestigious Africa Teachers Academy. As the founder of Prime Choice Educational Consult, Michael's goal is to provide the world, is to provide teachers in Ghana and around the world with the best international practices, which is amazing. That's what we want in education. He's an educational blogger, he's a mentor, he's a coach, he's an in service trainer, and he's a public speaker. And you're going to get to meet him. There we go. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing very well, Dr. Brenda. Thank you so much for having me today. Thank you so
Good.
much.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you for
honored to be
coming.
here.
Yeah, thank you for stopping by. We appreciate you, And I do have a couple of questions for you today,
Great,
but
great, great.
I want to start from the nitty gritty, of Ghana. Like, where are you currently located? And can you tell us a little bit about Ghana?
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Brenda. Thank you so much for this
You're
opportunity. I'm
welcome.
very happy to share my wonderful country and my
Sure.
wonderful experience with you today. I'm very,
Yeah.
very happy for this opportunity. And I want to say a very big hi to anyone listening to us today. And I want to tell you
Oh,
that you're going to have a feel of a different level. I'm going to present Ghana to you as how beautiful and how nice it is. All right.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Brenda. Currently, I'm in Accra, Greater Accra region,
Okay.
but my school is in Tema, which is equally
Okay.
in Greater Accra region.
Yeah.
Uh, Ghana is a wonderful place. Ghana is made up of diverse ethnic group with
Hmm.
so many wonderful people. Ghana is currently divided into 16 regions.
Hmm.
We are unitary states, unlike Nigeria that they are federal.
I know.
We operate. We have a central government.
Yeah.
Ghana is a nice place to be. We have some dominant religion. Christianity is a dominant religion we have in Ghana, with
Okay.
Islamic and a traditional.
Okay.
We have some wonderful places in Ghana that I wish you would come to Ghana one day and I'll take you there. We have some
Definitely.
beautiful tourist
Definitely.
sites in Ghana
Yeah.
here, and it's a nice place to be. It's a nice
Yeah.
place to be. Now, with the kind of food that we eat,
Yeah.
currently in Ghana, the staple food is kenke, fufu, and
Mm.
a lot of things that is quite interesting that we need to try, despite the war going on between Ghana Jollof and Nigeria Jollof.
Oh my God.
Uh,
I'm gonna ask you who's the winner of the game.
hey, but I think I'll tell you the winner after the whole discussion. I will tell, but the war is still ongoing. We have the palm nut soup. We
Oh,
have the groundnut soup.
oh yeah.
Now, with modernity, people prefer light soup, and sometimes people are trying the international, kind of soup. So, taste and preferences is playing a key role when it comes to food selection in Ghana here.
Do you have a goosey soup in Ghana? A goosey soup?
Well, yes. I think currently the Nigerians have penetrated into the food market in Ghana,
Of course.
and we are all beginning to have a taste for it. So a
Yeah.
goosey soup, I think when it comes to a goosey, the Nigerians they do it better. Well,
Yeah, yeah,
they do
yeah.
it better,
You
but
agree about that?
that is why I want to take the Ghana jollof. I want to take the jollof to at least so we can have an even play, 1-1 there.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right. So I've not tried it before, but I think that's something I want to try. That's something I
yeah,
want to try. I'm hearing
yeah.
so much.
Egusi and fufu is delicious.
Great, great,
Yeah.
great, great.
Okay. So, how did it all begin with you in education? What was your motivation, to be an educator?
Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Brenda. You see, sometimes there are some things that it's very difficult to explain
Yeah,
as how it started.
yeah,
But I believe that it's an inborn kind of thing with me.
yeah.
During my senior high school education, I think that's where I developed the passion to teach. That is
Hmm.
why sometimes I tell my students that the best approach, or sometimes the way you can, that can unearth you or that can bring out the potentials in you
In
is when
you,
you collaborate with people. You get
yeah,
close to
yeah,
people. Then later they will let you know the kind of things within you. It
yeah,
started with as a group presentation, group
yeah,
work, leading
yeah,
the group, delivering, preparing notes, teaching
yeah.
friends. Then, boom, I think the passion came. So
Yeah.
after my senior high school education that I went to university, I went straight to teacher university education to
Hmm.
be trained as a teacher.
Hmm.
And I think that passion has really paid off. That passion, sometimes
That's
I say
good.
that the only thing that I'll do again if I come back to life after whatever is to become a teacher.
Yeah.
There's so much blessing, so much passion that comes with
For
teaching job.
being not financial though, but
No,
yeah, there are other, yeah, there are other benefits. There's the satisfaction of seeing people
exactly.
grow,
Yes.
seeing them learn, from, oh my God, it's amazing. But do you have a family member, maybe your mom, your dad, somebody in your family who's in the education sector that you probably took, got motivated by, or this just grew by itself naturally?
Okay. Well, when I with motivation, I think probably is the teachers that I had growing up that motivated me to be. But
Yeah.
in my family, sometimes my mom used to say this that I was named after my daddy named me after his brother, and the
Hmm.
brother was a teacher. Though his
Hmm.
blessed memory is no more with us. So
Yeah.
sometimes my mom used to say that, well, because I was named after a teacher that have so much passion. But I don't want to
Hmm.
agree with that because
Yeah.
passion is something that you have to develop it, you have to see it. In my family, I have some teachers in the family, but it's like I look up to God and I look up to the environment around me, and I'm getting there. I'm getting
Good.
there.
Yeah. So, this, I'm gonna just say something. When I was growing up in Nigeria, I did all my schooling except for postgraduate in Nigeria. So all primary, secondary, bachelor's degree, I did it all in Nigeria. And most of our teachers that were from Ghana, they were
Oh,
the best teachers, the best. And and
thank you.
I'm telling you, and there's a popular name. I can remember at least two or three of my teachers. Then they were named Mensa. Mr.
Oh,
Mensah.
okay.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness. They were patient, and their language polished, their English, the way they spoke,
Great.
it was just amazing. So I admire Ghanaian education so much that
Great.
yeah,
Great.
I'm very
Great.
excited that you're here.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
so excited. And I know we're gonna keep doing things together. This is just the beginning.
Great.
Yeah.
Sure. Sure.
So can you tell us a little bit about what you currently do for work?
Well, currently I'm a teacher in a basic school.
Okay.
Yes, yes. I teach in the junior high school. I'm a social
Okay.
studies teacher, and
Okay.
I'm equally a primary school teacher. Ghana here we have subject teaching. Some schools run subject teaching. So, as a social science teacher,
Teacher.
I teach
Yeah.
social studies. I teach
Okay.
religious studies. I teach
Okay.
history. Yes. Then I have some international schools. I teach African history,
Hmm.
and I have a lot of schools outside. I teach them, and I think that's a whole huge experience for me.
And then you do the teachers of teacher. I know you do conferences and all that.
Yes,
Yeah, all that
yes,
good
and
stuff.
great. With the consultancy, I think it started 2 years ago, and I'm very happy the growth that we are experiencing, the kind of exposure we are trying to bring to the table.
Sure.
Ghanaian teachers, they are dedicated and they are ready to sacrifice and learn. So when
Yeah.
I saw so much passion in them and their eagerness to have exposure and my eagerness to equally have exposure at what is happening at the international market, because
Sure.
the world we live in today is a global market. And
It is
if you don't
global.
market yourself, if you don't
Yeah.
see what is trending, if you don't see what is best working in another country and
Yeah.
implement it in your country, things are not going to be, well with you as a teacher. So I
Right.
started a consultancy. I started with a WhatsApp group. Sometimes when I
Hmm.
share my story, people don't understand why or how today we have international consultants on our flyer to give training in Ghana.
Yeah.
I started on a WhatsApp group. I just created a
Hmm.
group, shared the
Hmm.
link for teachers. Those who
Hmm.
are ready to join, how many of you are ready? They joined the link. I started posting motivational, inspirational teacher messages on the page.
Hmm. Hmm.
Then I was advised that why don't I register? I said, okay, I registered. Then I took up a course at Africa Teachers Academy at Accra
Yeah.
here, Neogenics,
Yeah.
where I went through consultancy. And
Yeah.
I want to say this on record that my mentor, Pastor
Yeah.
Grant Boomom, he's a
Yeah.
teacher, my lecturer at the consultancy. He
Yeah.
mentored me, took me through the whole system, how to prepare and how to deliver as a teacher and as a
Yeah.
consultant.
Yeah.
And today, well, we are not there yet, but the grace is taking us there. And that
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
how the consultancy is seriously delivering and bringing other international consultants on board to spread the
Yeah.
love, the knowledge, the
Yeah.
experience, and equally take from Ghana because we are not only bringing to us, we share
Yeah.
our experience with them. We
Yeah.
tell them
Of
what is best
course.
working here.
Yeah.
And day
Yeah.
to day
Yeah.
go, they take it back again and it's working for them.
Yeah.
And it's working for
And
them.
it's amazing because that's how I met you. If you were just on WhatsApp, how would I know? No, you're in Ghana, I'm in the US, and we got connected. So really education has gone global. Teachers need to wake up. Teachers need to educate us, not just teachers, educators, administrators, policy makers in education. They need to realize that it's not just, oh, this is Ghana, this is my country, this is my country's educational system. I'm just gonna leave it that way, spread out, listen to others, learn from mistakes that others have made, or achievements that others have, and kind of include it in your system and see if it works, you know.
Great, great,
Yeah.
great.
So global education is amazing. It's amazing. So here we go. Next one. Can you describe Ghana's current educational system? Because when I had interviewed the Nigerian educator, of which I actually went through the Nigerian educational system,
Wow.
we have the 6334 system, where you have primary school 6 years, 3 years, junior secondary, 3 years, senior secondary, and then you do the WAEC and get into college, which is about 4 years the most, but it could be more depending on what you're studying, you know. And then after which you do the National Youth Service. I don't know if that has changed with COVID and all of that. But can I just want to do a little comparison between Nigerian education and your education in Ghana? Can you tell me how your educational system currently is?
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Brenda.
Yeah.
Uh, well, I think generally what I would say today is that our educational system is currently in transition.
Okay.
But what distorted the transition was the COVID.
Oh yeah.
Yes, 2019, the government of Ghana introduced a new curriculum
Okay.
that was going to be, implemented right from the preschool all the way to the senior high school.
Hmm.
Now, with the educational system we have in Ghana, well, the transition is still in process. So let me give a brief about how the old system is, and I will tell you how the new transition. Then you can
Sure.
tell me probably the best is it that we go back to the old, or
Or the
we move
new
on to the the
the
new system that is
new
coming.
system. Yeah.
Seriously. Well, with the old system, we have our we have the preschool,
Yeah.
which is the new one is calling it early years education. We have
Yeah.
the preschool, we have the primary school, we have the junior high school, and we have the senior high school.
Yeah.
Now, with the preschool, you end at the age of 6. You have to move to the primary school. The primary
Okay.
school takes 6 years, so that means that
Okay.
you have to graduate from the primary school at grade 6 or primary
Okay.
6. Then you jump into the the junior high school,
Okay.
and that is currently 3 years. You go to junior high school 1, 2, and 3.
Hmm.
Then from there you go to the senior high school, and you
Okay.
complete there for 3 years or 4 years.
Okay.
Now, with that system, that was how we were running. But in 2019, the government introduced a new policy,
Hmm.
and well, we'll say education is dynamic.
Hmm.
And a country that is not ready to touch policies within the educational units probably is not ready for a change,
For
or
growth.
is not
Yeah.
ready to suit the current trend.
Yeah.
So in 2019, the government initiated a new kind of system
Yeah.
where we were still going to run the old early years, or run the
Yeah.
primary school and run the junior high school and run the senior high school. Now, with the
Yeah.
new policy, the government is considering all the way from the early years to senior high school as basic education. So
Hmm.
when you get to the senior high school, then you have two things to go in for.
Hmm.
So with the new policy coming, though it is still under implementation, we are still trying to implement it fully.
Hmm.
When you get to the senior high school, when you are the senior high school will now be 2 years. Now with the 2 years, you choose two paths, whether the academic path or the career path.
Okay.
But the old system wouldn't permit you to choose a career path or academic
You
path.
just keep going in the
Yes, you
academic
just keep
part.
going. Then
Yeah.
that decision will be at the university, whether you go career or academic. But right now,
True.
that path
Yeah.
is coming to the senior high school, where you go to career or academic. And after that, you are
Hmm.
awarded with a diploma at
Hmm.
the senior high school. So you can see that the qualification level is coming down as
Hmm.
compared to how to earn a diploma probably at a university or probably at
Yeah.
a training college. Now, with the new system coming, if it's fully implemented, after your
Yeah.
senior high school, you earn a
Yeah.
diploma, and you are
Okay.
able to choose your career path at these two levels, so that when you go to the university, you already have a path that you are currently following. Now,
Hmm.
with the new, one of the major changes that brought about this reforms
System.
is
Yeah.
practicality.
Yeah.
The old curriculum or the old educational system that we're running
Yeah.
was more or less teacher centered, and we were building on concrete kind of understanding. But with
Yeah.
the new curriculum, when you look at how it is going to be implemented with this new educational system, is practical oriented, based on competency, analytical
Interesting.
skills, and more activity oriented as compared
Yeah.
to the old system that we're running. So
Yeah.
that is how beautiful the educational system is in Ghana. But
Yeah.
despite that, I believe people viewing through political lens, viewing through other kind of lens, may have their own challenges and
Yeah.
have their own opinions about them. But
Yeah.
as a teacher, and talking from my perspective, I
Experience.
think the
Yeah.
system is the new curriculum is in to help,
Hmm.
despite implementational challenges we are going through. We are going
Yeah.
through a lot. We are going through a
Yeah.
lot. Now, the junior high school, there's a new curriculum. Teachers are yet to be trained as to how to
Hmm.
implement it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
up to now, a government introduced a new curriculum. Public schools are now waiting for textbooks. These are
yeah,
challenges that I know they will happen when it comes to implementation. So I'm
yeah,
sure maybe most of our listeners may not agree, maybe as to how this policy is, but
yeah.
I believe that with time, the system or the
It,
policy can really yield a good result.
and that brings me to something. You know that any new system needs adaptation. If
Great.
it's new, people don't understand it. They don't know what it is. They just, they need more information. They need training. And I'm glad you're in that aspect of education where
Yes.
you're bringing teachers together and training them on better practices in the curriculum. I actually prefer your second and newly introduced system, because
Great.
the yeah, because the world is going towards learner-based teaching practices. That whole thing I grew up with, and you probably grew up with, where they say the teacher is the authority, he knows everything, the students just have to sit and listen. It's old, it's archaic. Let's get rid of that kind of system and let the students make choices. Um, Not everybody want to go to college. There are other things
Great.
you can do to make it. You
Yes.
know, technical. If you come to America, for instance, technical or handiwork that we take for granted in Africa is what's making money.
It's paying off.
Yeah. Electricians, you call an
Yes.
electrician to come get some stuff done in your house, they're going to charge you hundreds of dollars.
Wow.
So technical education is not useless. Academic
Yes.
education is not useless. You can
Yes.
combine both and give the child a choice to pick which is convenient for them, which is better for them. Look at the athletes. Look how much athletes are making. Look at
Wow.
musicians.
Beautiful.
Look at the
Making so
music
much.
industry in Africa. Oh my gosh, look at the film industry.
Seriously.
Who needs education when technical learning, you go to an actually it's still some kind of education, technical education, where you go to like drama school or you go to music school and then you become a star and make money. So let the child choose. I
Yes.
personally chose the academic path, but I'm not going to say my kids have to, do that. I'm going to let them make their choices and
Yes.
yeah, and see what's good for them. So I actually prefer the newly introduced system. I'm just gonna say that Ghanaian educators should be patient. They're gonna learn, they're gonna be trained, and if there are problems with the system, you can mend them. But
Sadly.
student-based learning is the best way to go in any
Great.
educational system. You know. So the next question is going to be about COVID-19. I know you touched
Wow.
it. You touched it
Wow.
a little bit. You said
Wow.
it's affected a lot of things in Ghana and even in education. So in the United States, and all over the world, it's impacted a lot of things. It's markets were closed down, schools were closed down, hospitals changed their policies. All aspects of the societies, things changed. Um, Educational practices here in the U.S., for instance, moved mostly into virtual learning. Now they are beginning to reopen schools little by little, but still some schools are combining. Like the elementary school students, for instance, in where I live in my city, they have 2 or 3 days of face-to-face learning where they go to school, but then they have 2 or 3 days of virtual learning. So that's not elementary school students are not built to learn virtually. They are built as one-on-one learners, and that one-on-one connection is very important for them to learn. Because I
Yes.
work with preschoolers, and,
Wow.
yeah, and it hurts me when I see that some of my students they have to go to through virtual learning and they're shaky and nervous and can't focus, and then the teachers have to put in extra effort to make sure the kids are what. So
Yes.
so it's tough, and also even here in the US, not when the pandemic first hit, not all family members could afford to get a computer where they can log in and go to work. For instance, mom and dad had to work from home, probably have 5 kids, and all of them had to go to school. You know how many computers that would be. There were some stories online where some children were going to like Starbucks, coffee shops,
Yes.
Walmart or markets where they could get free Wi-Fi, where they could do their
Wow.
homework. So this
Hmm.
is the United States is supposed to
Wow.
be the top-notch country, the
Yes.
top, the
The
top of the world.
superpowers.
Oh, if we had these problems, what about
Wow.
the third world countries? What about Africa? What about a place like India? How in Ghana did COVID-19 impact the educational system?
Wow. Dr. Brenda, thank you so much. I think this question that can take us the whole day to
I
answer that
know.
question. But sometimes when I meet people online and we have discussions like this, I think the first thing I say is that my biggest congratulations to preschool teachers.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
the online school, because I'm wondering how to get a girl, a preschool to sit down and watch you and concentrate and deliver.
Yeah.
And they were doing wonderful well. They
Yeah.
were doing
Yeah.
great things.
Yeah.
Now, with the COVID situation in Ghana, I think we are not exception, despite all how all countries, they were going through these issues and troubles. We too, we
Yeah.
equally went through the same thing. I think the COVID took us home for about 10 months,
Yeah.
10 solid months. And I think that is one of the greatest fear for every student and something that they were not expecting. And all of a
Hmm.
sudden, boom. And
It
they were
hit.
going home with no preparation. Teachers were going home with no preparation about how to
Yeah.
deliver online.
Yeah.
And I think I said it today during World Teachers Meeting today. I said this there that the system that we were running, I think the
Yeah.
COVID has taught everyone a lesson, and
Yeah.
universities must, reform because
Yeah.
all the teacher education universities, whatever training colleges were running, 90% of the programs or how things were done, they were preparing teacher for face-to-face learning.
Right.
The
Right.
system was preparing every teacher for
For
face-to-face learning.
face-to-face learning.
So
Yeah.
when the COVID came and we were all struggling. I say that sometimes when I see kids who cannot mute, who cannot, they were having challenges,
Yeah.
teachers were equally going through the same problem.
Problems. Yeah.
Yes, they were new to the system. They were
Yeah.
new. Zoom fatigue was very common.
Yeah.
Everybody got tired.
Yeah.
Kids were not having the flow. They were not happy about how the system is. But with the
Yeah.
COVID situation, I want to talk about it in two folds. In Ghana here, we have the private schools and the public schools.
Right.
And you can bear with me that the private schools, about 90% of them, because it is self-funding,
Yeah.
they come out with policies and ways to handle their things to meet whatever standard they after. But with the
Right.
public schools, though they have funding from government, from
Right.
taxpayers' money, they
Right.
still had so many issues because of the number.
Right.
Now, with the public school, when the COVID took us home last year, March,
Right.
government immediately rolled out television and radio,
Hmm.
where kids were home and they put on their TV and they're
Yeah.
having maths lesson. I
Yeah.
wonder how you can have maths lesson though it's on TV. How do you give feedback? How do you tell the
Right.
teacher that please can you take a step back? So you
Right.
can see that there was a huge gap there when it
Right.
comes to assessment and feedback. The radio was for those that probably in the remote areas that cannot
Hmm.
have access to the television. They were,
Yeah.
using radio. But I'm wondering how the radio, we are looking at. Though I know people will share that that was an alternative, but the question
Right.
is that we're looking at how can we make it more effective.
Right.
So with the effectiveness of teaching and learning, with the use of television and the radio, by percentage wise, probably its effectiveness could be 60 or 50.
Right. Right.
Good. But with the private schools, they were self-funding. Some of them, majority of the private schools, though the COVID took some private school off, they couldn't connect back with their learners and they were
Hmm.
off and they couldn't continue. So most of the kids in the private school equally joined the television and the radio.
Hmm.
But with the
Hmm.
private schools that had the financial strength, they migrated to personal portal or some LMS learning management system that they were using. But what
Hmm.
was commonly used was the Zoom,
Hmm.
was the Zoom
Yeah.
learning or the
Zoom
Zoom teaching
learning.
app that brought about the face-to-face interaction, and a lot of things,
Right.
really impacted. There was direct feedback, you schedule, and I think it has equally increased the digital knowledge a bit for teachers, even
Right.
students. Right now, students are now so much, used to how to use so many things, the gadgets and other things at home because
Yeah.
of the COVID. So
Yeah.
with the COVID situation and the impact on education, well, we can conclude that it's a curse and at the same time it's a blessing.
Right.
One thing that I know is that how it's affected the mental health of my learners was a huge
Right.
problem. Most of the kids
Right.
in Ghana had so many issues because they were locked down. They
Mm,
were scared. Their parents must
yeah.
equally go and work and bring, take care of them. And
Yeah.
parents were in mask. They were forced to put on mask, a
Yeah.
new environment. So their
Yeah.
mental health was a huge issue. But I
Yeah.
think there was a gap there. I never saw anything concrete that was dealing with kids to, psychologically adapt to the system.
Right.
But I'm sure with time, we'll get there. We'll get there. So basically, that's how the COVID has really changed the educational system in Ghana. And we have currently resumed to face, and
Mm,
we are still in COVID. So let me just add
mm,
something there. Yes,
mm,
January this year, we are having
mm.
face to face.
Oh,
And
wow.
sometimes, yes, I say that despite the COVID, creating more fear and panic in other countries, I think
Still
the
going
COVID
back
has,
to school.
yes, it has
Wow.
been gentle in Africa. I don't know if
Yeah.
my statistics are right.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
gentle in Africa with the death
Yeah.
rates, the whole continent death rate as compared to other countries. Then I think that the COVID is not that being hard on us in
Yeah.
Africa. So we
Yeah.
have resumed back with a face-to-face.
Wow.
Government, the vaccine is in. I think teachers,
Yeah.
we are on one of the priority lists that will soon get vaccinated.
Right.
We have reduced the instructional time by 2 hours. So right
Okay.
now the
Okay.
instructional time is somehow reduced so that
Okay.
teachers, the contact thing, if there's any possibility of any breakout,
It's
the
less
contact,
contact.
yes, very
Yeah.
good. And
Yeah.
with the spacing is done in class, even with the government schools, some were even arguing or calling for shift system where some will come in the morning and go. But I think that they were able to sort it out and divide the classes into various units. And though we recorded some COVID cases among students, but they are all
Yeah.
cured. They are all better now. So with
Wow.
the situation currently, we are still running face to face. From January, government has not shut us down. We still
Mm,
run face to face with strict COVID protocols.
mm.
The COVID protocols is so strict, so
Strict.
so so strict. Any change in temperature, you go home.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yes, we have the temperature guns, we have everything, and the
They wear
COVID
masks.
protocols.
The students wear masks.
Yes, they wear masks 24/7.
Mm.
So the end of the day, you put on your mask, and it's not easy. Imagine wearing masks the whole day as a student.
Day.
That's why
Yeah.
the instructional time was somehow reduced for them so that they can easily go home, close early. And
Mm.
before then, schools were closing, some were closing at 2:30, but
Mm.
now we close at 1 o'clock. Some schools
Mm.
close at 1 o'clock, others close at
Wow.
2. We close early so that we go home. So basically, that is how the whole system is. We are observing strict protocols, and it's our prayer that we keep our face to face teaching going on. And some schools are equally running hybrid. As we said, there are giant private schools in Ghana that they have
Mm.
the resources, so they
They
are running
do.
the
Yeah.
hybrid. Good. Students that probably they still have the fear, and parents that still have the fear that they don't want to expose their kids, they can
Yeah.
still have lessons online as if they're in a
Yeah.
classroom, and
Yeah.
some that probably wants to go to school. So
Have to
it's
go
a
to
wonderful
school.
experience.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful
And
experience.
you talking about your country, Ghana, reminds me about the lady I interviewed, Marife from Philippines. And the
Wow.
Philippines, they were hit really bad with COVID.
Yes.
And they still, I mean, when I had the conversation with her, I think that was in March. I think they were still not in school, and she's a math teacher. So she said the students cannot afford computers, or parents cannot
Mm-hmm,
afford
mm-hmm,
computers.
mm-hmm.
So they now use like modules. They print out all the materials, and they have to take it to the students who live in rural areas, or
Wow.
their parents come to school and pick it up. But then
Wow.
there's a problem. You're learning maths and you're looking at a module. There's no teacher there to help you out, all kinds of issues. So COVID, the pandemic, it affected everybody. like all
Great.
over the world. Even if it's not, even if the disease per se did not infect a lot of countries like it did, especially like in the US, for instance, and in
Yeah.
India, and what's happening in India, it still affected the economy, it affected the educational sector, it affected all aspects in various ways. And
Yes.
I keep reading some articles online and in different places where they say there's going to be a COVID generation, children with a whole new level of issues and maybe challenge,
Yes.
challenges due to
Yes.
COVID, because
Wow.
it's crazy. I just have to say it's crazy. Okay, now let's
Seriously.
move from the sad story to to the
COVID.
next. Yeah, oh my goodness, the pandemic.
Hmm.
And the pandemic hit so quickly. Nobody expected it. Nobody
Nobody.
knew
Nobody.
what this, they like there's a new disease, but we don't know what this is.
Yes.
But thank God, thank God, scientists were working quickly. Now they
Yes.
have vaccines. We know about social distancing. We know about masks. Things are getting better. But things have to get really bad before they start to get better. So
Great. Great. Great.
so, how are schools funded in Ghana? Because in the United States, for instance, we have all kinds of funding. We have private funding by private individuals, and people actually have their own private schools. Like I do, I have a preschool. I established an in-home preschool. Some
Wow.
people,
Great.
and then there's government funding through grants, maybe loans. There's some community funding. There is organizations funding education. So there are different avenues that education is funded in the United States. So tell me about Ghana. How is school funded in Ghana?
All
Hmm.
right. Thank you so much, Dr. Brenda. Funding. When it comes to money, well, I want to say this. The government of Ghana, I think, though there are a lot of changes in governance. This government will come,
Yeah,
that government will go,
yeah,
and I think that of all the changing regimes or governance,
yeah,
education is really benefiting a lot when it comes
yeah.
to government spending or funding.
Wow.
Ghana here, the public schools, we run free compulsory basic education.
Education. Mm,
Yes, from with the public schools from all the way from early years to the junior high school. Now,
wow.
this our new government equally came in and has expanded the free education right now.
Okay.
So the free education is all the way from early years to the senior high school, free.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Even with
So
textbooks and everything, they provide.
yes,
Oh,
they
wow.
provide textbooks. They
Wow.
provide textbooks, they provide feeding, they give them food at the boarding
Oh,
house, even at the basic
wow.
school. Yes, there is school feeding program that provide
Wow.
food for the kids when they go to school. There's a
Yeah.
free senior high school. So at
Meals.
the senior high school, you are there, you don't pay school fees, government
Mm,
feed you, you are feed, they provide you
wow.
food, textbooks,
Uniforms.
accommodation, uniforms. Yes,
Mm,
government
mm,
sometimes provide uniform, but
mm.
sometimes there are some things that the school may charge for.
Right,
But
right,
about 99% on record is supposed to be free.
right,
On
right.
record, free education
Yeah, we
for.
know how that works.
Well,
Yeah.
that's you see,
Yeah.
having discussion on issues like this is so complicated, Dr. Brenda. It's
Yeah.
so complicated because to the ordinary or to everyone, they see loopholes in every government activity and they
Everything. Yeah.
sometimes, they stand strongly against certain policies. But
Yeah.
that is on record, as I said, and it's really happening. There's free education,
Right.
though some public schools may have internal structures that may take something small to keep them
Right.
going. But on record, we are supposed to enjoy free
Free
education, which is currently
education.
happening. Those in
Yeah.
basic school don't pay school fees. So even if uh, our listeners or somebody hearing can say, no, it's not free, I was charged this at school fees, they don't pay school fees. They don't pay school fees. So from early years to the senior high school, you don't pay school fees. You attend free school.
That's good.
Then the basic school, they have free feeding. They feed them freely. So with
Yeah.
the funding that is from government funding to the public schools is really healthy. Though government is provide textbooks, and I think that's one of the delay with the new curriculum. We are waiting for the textbooks to come in. Now
Yeah.
with the government funding to the public schools, equally some NGOs equally fund some public schools, especially those in the remote areas. So sometimes you can get to a remote area, and some NGOs, they have
We
constructed
fund
some
them.
blocks, they have provided some items just to keep them going. Then
Yeah.
with the private schools, it's basically self-funding. Well, I've not heard of any grants that government provide for private schools.
Private schools. Okay.
Yes, government doesn't provide any grant for private schools. If there is, then I don't know of, and maybe in our comment section somebody can let us
Somebody
know.
can say
But
something. Yeah.
yes, but with the grants currently, private schools are solely funded by individuals because they run programs, and the government is only there to ensure standards, ensure that things are rightly done,
Hmm.
and equally ensure that things flow. They are with the national standard. That is what they do. But most of the activities, about 99% of the activities in the private school, is self-funded.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
if our listeners will have an issue, that's the 1% to them. It's
Right.
self-funding. You provide everything yourself as a private school to
Student.
achieve that standard. So
Right.
though government school is running on record, we are running free education for them, but with the
Right.
private school, they pay for school fees,
Right.
and some private schools pay so much,
Right.
so
Yeah.
so so so
Everywhere.
much.
Yeah.
Yes, because of the standard they want to put to the table. And
Yeah. Yeah.
parents that value education, that sees that, look, the only way we can get better and effective teaching and learning is to pay for it. They put
Yeah.
their kids in a private
In the
school.
private school.
Yes,
Yeah.
good. Though there's a huge national debate as to if there's a free education, then how effective can lesson and how effective can teaching be. That will leave that to the debaters to continue with the issue. But
Right.
as to how the system is, the funding is, that is how the funding is happening in Ghana.
Hmm. Wow. So this is just a little deviation. While you were talking about Ghana and education, I was just thinking about something. I know that just recently, I think it was 2015 or so, your government had the year of the return, to
Yes,
Ghana, where they're inviting, all kinds of people from all over the world, Africans generally, who have become, not really, who are not, how will I say, what's the word I'm going to say? For instance, African Americans that have
yes,
not really been home to Africa and have no roots down there. The government of Ghana is inviting them to come down to Africa to explore their roots and see how Africa is and all of that. So for the year of the return, my question is, so has that impacted the educational system anyway? Have you had some, for instance, have you had some American citizens come down to Ghana and try to teach in your schools or help the schools, maybe by funding or some kind of help? How has the year of the return in Ghana impacted the educational system?
all right, thank you so much, Dr. Brenda. Well, with the year of return, as you said earlier, it was a breakthrough. I think that was the year of return is what turned the whole world eyes to look at Ghana.
Ghana,
And
oh my
people believe
goodness.
that
Yeah,
to go to Africa, you have to pass through Ghana. I think we still hold that
yeah,
record. Or you have
yeah,
to pass
yeah.
through Nigeria.
Yeah. No, it's Ghana now. You are
Yes,
reigning.
yes, to the gateway to Africa is Ghana. Yes, the year of return, in fact, it saw a very great opening, a huge exposure. We saw a
Yeah,
lot of people trooping in, celebrities,
yeah,
renowned personalities, and it was a huge adventure. Now, with the educational sector, as they
yeah.
trooped in, I think they were able to identify some schools. That's why I talked about the NGO support and other things.
Right,
Some
right.
of these year of return, some of these guys had a touch through had a touch to the schools through the NGOs.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they came into contact with the schools through the NGOs, And the year of return somehow introduced people to some communities that it is believed that is their lineage or where they come from. So
Yeah,
when they
yeah,
had that
yeah.
connection again with the
With the
communities,
community, yeah.
yes, they were able to impact. There is this renowned American actor, I've forgotten of his name. He was made a chief in Ghana.
Oh man.
So obviously the community will, get together. He's in to support, to provide the necessary support to
Hmm,
really, turn things around. So most of the remote schools, I think, benefited greatly with the year of return. Most of the
hmm,
remote schools, because
hmm,
they had opportunity. Some of them that were able to trace their lineage or
hmm,
trace where they come from, got back to the community and had a communication, listened to some of the issues, and they're
hmm.
ready to impact. And one thing that the year of return, well, they came to Ghana, but some are still around. They don't want to
I
leave,
know,
and we are ready
yeah,
to stay with them. We are ready to. They are in here. We are working with them, and I
yeah,
think that we have really benefited from that. The exposure
yeah.
to the country has really, opened
I,
things
I
up for
I
us.
think that right now Ghana is like gold to Africa. You know, it used to be Nigeria. Unfortunately,
Yes,
security issues in Nigeria is killing Nigeria.
exactly, exactly.
You
And
know.
with my condolence, I think you lost your major general. I think I'm
Oh
very
yeah,
sorry
I
for your
saw
loss.
that yesterday.
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
very sorry for your loss
so
to my Nigerian
sad.
friends here.
Yeah,
It's
so
not
sad.
easy.
So many plane crashes,
It's not
mismanagement
easy.
of everything. Oh my goodness. We have to pray for Nigeria. But
Yes, we'll get there.
Ghana is like gold. We heard about Twitter. Everybody was like, "What
Oh,
in the world?
yay!
Why is
The whole
Twitter?
Africa. The
Why
whole
is Twitter
Africa.
coming
The
to
head
Ghana?"
office is coming to Ghana.
Yeah,
Yes.
So, but the question is why? Why? Why is
My
everybody
Nigerian
going to
friend
Ghana?
was like, why not Nigeria? We have the
Yeah,
highest population in Nigeria. Why not
I
even
hear
South
you.
Africa? Ghana
Hmm.
is so small,
Yeah,
barely 30 something million people living in Ghana.
yeah.
Why they're coming in? But as you said, maybe the
But
year
we
of
know
return.
why. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
everything is returning back to Ghana.
Yeah, yeah, and I've been interested in the year of the return. I've seen interviews of people from America, from London, taking their entire families and coming to
Wow.
Ghana to
Yes.
stay there, to live there, to
Yes.
work there. So it's amazing now that Ghana is like the gold. I'm just gonna say of Africa. I hope I hope one day Nigeria will get there. It used to be there, but we've
Yes.
given you
Oh, you
guys
get
this.
there.
Okay. So the next question is what three major elements would you say have contributed to the growth of schools in Ghana? Specifically in the cities where you have worked.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. With that, sometimes I say this every day. To every growth,
Hmm,
teachers are the top, rank, because
of course.
whatever is contributing to the growth of education in Ghana that you are equally testifying. To me, first on my priority are the teachers in Ghana,
Sure.
because teaching requires dedication and self, dedicating yourself and
Sacrifices. Yeah.
sacrificing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when the teachers, or when a teacher sees this and is ready to sacrifice, then boom, the educational system is ready to be on top.
Growing.
So I
Yeah.
have three things that I want to talk about, but I
Sure.
think top on my list is the teachers' dedication. They are doing the magic.
Yeah.
They are doing the magic. And
Yeah.
another thing is government policies. As I said earlier, the free education. It
Yeah.
has really caused a huge increase in enrollment
Right.
because it's free. The only thing you need is to get admission. You just pack yourself, then you go to school. So the
Hmm.
enrollment has greatly increased.
Hmm.
So government policies really, really is helping the public schools, or it generally is causing the growth of
Of
education in Ghana.
education. Yeah.
Yes, and the free feeding. Government provide a school feeding. So a child that probably you think that you want to do something and get something and probably eat, you have when you go to school, you still get food to eat. So why
Sure.
not be in school than rather be on the street?
Yeah.
So in
Wow.
sub-Saharan Africa here, I think with the educational system, I think UN has recorded a lot of fact about us, about our growth. We are
Hmm.
really growing when it comes to the educational system here.
Hmm.
Government policies are so favorable, and teachers are, they've dedicated themselves to deliver.
Yeah.
So these are the two things that, and with the private schools, what is causing the growth in most of the private schools is dedication and supervision. There's
Right.
so much supervision in the private schools
Private
that is
schools.
causing the growth in the
Growth.
educational system. The supervision
Yeah.
and government is equal. And one thing that is I want to talk about is the reforms. As I said earlier, Ghana is currently under so many reforms. Teacher professionalism.
Hmm.
The new government has introduced teacher licensing. I know it has
Hmm.
been in US all these years.
All this
Now,
while, yeah.
yes, but government of Ghana has equally introduced it. So
Hmm.
indirectly, you need to be licensed to become a
Hmm.
teacher in Ghana. So
Hmm.
you can't just barge in because you think the teaching profession is something
It's
you can get
easy.
in,
Yeah,
take
yeah, yeah,
whatever you want, reach
yeah,
a level, accumulate
yeah,
some money, and walk out.
yeah,
No.
yeah.
To be in a classroom, government is issuing a licensing policy to license
Amazing.
every teacher to be, and with the licensing, it goes with professionalism.
Hmm. Yeah,
So government is equally introducing so many in-service training and level of professionalism to cushion the Ghanaian teacher to reach a level to deliver effectively.
hmm.
So for us to grow as a
As a
country
country,
or
yeah,
as the educational system growing, teachers we are on top.
yeah, yeah,
I think
yeah,
supervision and teaching the teachers in Ghana is a reason why our growth in the educational sector is really going up. I don't want to give it to government because
yeah.
no matter the policies that come, no matter the professionalism, the licensing, if the teacher
Teachers
is not
implement.
ready, it's not ready to deliver.
Yeah,
You can do
it's
whatever you
not
want to
gonna
do.
work.
It's not going to work. He
Yeah,
will come there, listen to whatever you will say as in-service training, and go back and still do whatever he probably was
yeah,
doing.
yeah.
So the teacher dedication in Ghana here, if I'm to score teacher dedication in Ghana here over 100, I'll give teachers 80%
Hmm.
because they are dedicated and they are really causing the change that you are seeing in the educational system.
Yeah.
Yes.
And one thing I can like just come up with as part of your growth system in Ghana is your willingness to hold on, something's on my screen. Okay. It's your willingness to collaborate, with other educators from all over the world. And even your government
Yes.
is encouraging that kind of collaboration. They're like,
Yes.
we don't have it all in Ghana. Let's reach out to
Yes.
Britain. Let's reach out to the US. Let's see how other educational systems are working and
Yes.
try to implement such things in our educational
Yes.
systems too. And that helps in growth as well. And that's amazing. You know,
Great.
that's amazing. Ghana, oh my goodness. I'm gonna visit Ghana.
You have to. You have to come together. You have
I
to.
am. Okay. So the next one is challenges, where there are successes, there are also challenges. So what challenges have you encountered personally? And do you think that these challenges are common with educators in Ghana?
Yes, yes. With the challenges, I teach in a private school,
Okay.
so I will equally identify some challenges we are facing in the private sector. But
Okay.
those in the public school, I think, despite the funding, despite government involvement,
Mm-hmm.
despite government policies to make teachers' life better off,
Yeah.
there are a lot of challenges that comes with it.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, on record, government may have so many things that is doing, but on the ground, these things are not being manifested. So
Mm.
teachers are going through a lot of challenges.
Mm.
Government introduced a new curriculum.
Mm.
Currently, they've approved textbooks,
Mm.
and I think this is the second year. And most of the public school complain that they don't have the textbooks. Government has not supplied them with the textbooks.
Textbooks.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I believe that it is still in the process. It takes time. Government
Yeah.
implementation plan, is not a day
Takes
job because
time.
of the
Yeah.
population that we are dealing with. So I'm sure
Yeah.
maybe with time we'll get there.
Yeah.
Now, with the public school again, one of the huge challenges that they are going through, as I said earlier, is with the government policies. One thing is remuneration, salary, and other things.
Hmm.
And I think this is common everywhere.
Yeah.
This is common everywhere. Countries that we think that they are better off are equally complaining of they want better
Yeah.
remuneration,
No.
they want
Yeah.
better
Little pay.
conditions.
Yeah.
Very good. Some countries may see Ghanaian salary and say, "Oh, it's better I work in Ghana because if
Yeah.
this is how much I'm going to make, then I'm better off."
When I go there. Yeah.
So you can see that no one is satisfied when it comes to money.
Yeah.
We all
Yeah.
want to get better. So I think that is one thing that we are facing in Ghana. But we are all trying to let government understand that it should push us to a level where everyone will be better off, depending
Yeah.
on the economic hardship. Because as the economy is getting hard, the government must equally push things to make things favorable for teachers to enjoy. All
Hmm.
these are some of the challenges that teachers are going through.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, another thing that teachers go through is the cost of internet. The
Oh
cost of
wow.
internet is very expensive in Ghana here.
Yeah.
Our telecommunication industry charges a lot. So it takes a lot of data, a lot of cost
Hmm.
from you to prepare and to even share videos, to download, to
Hmm.
research. So this kind of cost sometimes deter or probably make some teachers run away from such a cost because
Hmm.
it's quite expensive.
It
Then
is. Yeah.
another thing that we are currently we are dealing with it, but when anytime we want to raise this issue up, then our colleagues in Nigeria will compare us that NEPA and power
Yeah. Oh
holding,
my.
yeah, they will say Ghanaians we are better off because currently
Yeah.
we are having a lot of power challenges, and I think that
Hmm.
is really affecting schools that are running the hybrid because they need electricity to still
Yeah.
connect with learners at home. But we are
Yeah.
currently experiencing power crisis. The load
Wow.
sharing, some places can be off today, the next day is there.
Wow.
And we are complaining. But my
Yeah.
friends in Nigeria, they are telling me that,
No.
Michael, we are complaining, but what is
You guys
happening in
are having
Nigeria?
fun in Ghana.
You're having fun. You have
Yeah.
light and
Ghana
you are
light. Yeah.
complaining.
Oh my.
Yeah,
And
so that
always. Yeah, I'm sorry, I was gonna say, and we have always in Nigeria heard about light in Ghana. We're like, oh my goodness, Nigeria, no light, no power. They keep taking lights. Go look at Ghana, and they are our neighbors. And so
it's but Nigeria, I know maybe with the population size, a lot of factors is really affecting the power
mismanagement.
supply.
That's all.
Yes, well,
Mismanagement.
probably.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
the power crisis is a factor. It's one of the
it is.
challenges teachers are going through, but we are trying as much as possible not, to let these challenges overshadow the kids we want to bring up. Because despite all these things, or despite these challenges we are talking about,
Hmm.
we really have to deliver our future kids or the children that they are going to, take decisions for us. They who are going to implement policies for us in the future. We can't deny them of that privilege and honor.
No,
So we are
no.
still sacrificing,
Yeah,
overcoming our challenges to try as much as possible to put them at the top of any
yeah,
priority.
yeah.
Yes.
So, in doing these wage interviews, the one country that I have talked to is Switzerland. I talked to the
Great.
man there, Constantine, and like, if you watch that interview, and I'm gonna leave a link in the description box on this YouTube video, you want to go to Switzerland because
Wow.
unlike in many countries where, for instance, the medical profession is at the top, lawyers are at the top, and teachers are like,
Yes.
at the bottom. In Switzerland, they value their teachers. They pay them. They have benefits. And there's quality. Like you said, you can't just wake up and oh, I want to teach.
Yes.
You have to earn that job because the job is very lucrative in Switzerland, and that's the only country that I have talked to
Wow.
so far. That teachers are valued and they're at the top of
Wow.
the occupational
Wow.
system. Yeah, I
Great.
do think that Finland is kind of like Switzerland, but I haven't had the chance to talk to anybody from Finland yet. But the educational system is really nice down there as well.
Great.
So
Great.
we
Great.
just have to keep working, whatever country we're in,
Yes.
working and praying and hoping for better practices and programs,
Exactly.
you know.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about challenges. Let's talk about hiring of teachers or of educators. How is the hiring process in Ghana? And tell me about retention and turnovers as well.
Great. Let me start with the hiring.
Okay.
With the hiring, as I said earlier, we do the analysis in private and public because it's like these are the two systems running, the private and the
Okay.
public.
Yeah.
Now, with the government hiring, government directly recruit from the teacher training colleges.
Oh
Yes,
wow.
direct recruitment
Wow.
into our basic schools. Government directly recruit from the teacher training colleges,
Wow.
and equally, government directly recruit from the universities that are running it's not a direct recruitment, but sometimes government will open a door for employment and equally
Hmm.
employ graduates from the universities that run education.
Hmm.
So in Ghana here, to teach in a public school, you must be a trained teacher.
Hmm. Hmm.
That is the
Wow.
fundamental, and I think that is the magic working. To be
So
in a
I was gonna ask, what about like what about fingerprinting? Do you do that in Ghana?
security
Checking,
checkups.
yes, finger
Yes.
criminal record checkup. You do that in
Well, in Ghana, when I'm talking about the giant private schools, some do
right,
background check.
right,
But as I said earlier, government directly recruits. So the moment you enter into the training colleges, you know you are coming out as a teacher.
right.
But there is nothing like security checks up where they take fingerprint, run a background check on every teacher to
That
see
is
whether you don't have any
right.
criminal record. No, we don't do that in Ghana here.
Okay.
But the giant private schools that probably have a brand to protect, I think let me use the word brand. The
Yeah, yeah,
giant private schools in Ghana that they have a brand to protect, they have
yeah.
some reputable, maybe kind of
Companies.
Ghanaians,
Yeah, yeah,
companies that
yeah.
you are with them that they don't want any complicated issues or tomorrow you tarnish their image and brand. They run security or background check on you with the police service to know whether you don't have any criminal record.
Criminal
But with the
record.
government, school they don't do that, though they have certain internal structures that checks all these things that the teacher, when you if there's any issue of misconduct, there's
Yeah.
dismissal.
Yeah.
There are
Wow.
uh, agencies, there are institutions that will deal with you. If it requires the law to court, they
Mm-hmm.
have to process you. So there are checks that are, checking the teacher to be on course.
Hmm.
Uh-huh. But with the so to teach in a public school,
Public
that
school.
one you must be a trained teacher. Even if you don't have the teaching qualification, I think there are times where government recruits people that probably are not trained teachers before when we were having shortage of teachers and we really wanted to make it even. Government recruited teachers, not teachers. Government recruited people from other disciplines.
Hmm.
But when you get in, you are considered as non-professional teacher.
Oh wow. Yeah.
But the question is, we have about 80% are professional, just few. But even with the non-professional, in terms of salary and remuneration, the professional teacher is far better than you.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you are
Yeah.
recruited as a non-professional teacher, you
Yeah.
have the edge, you have the energy to take educational programs to be professional.
Right. Right.
So though we have non-professional teachers or we have teachers in the public school that are not trained teachers, but they are currently in the making. But with the
Hmm.
government or the public schools, 90%, if 80% or 90%,
Are
majority of them are
trained
professional,
teachers. Hmm.
trained
Yeah.
teachers, especially the basic schools. As for the basic schools, 99, they are all trained because government recruit them directly from the training colleges to fill in the gaps. And when
Yeah.
you are recruited and you're not a trained teacher, they put you as non-professional. You don't earn as a professional.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Brenda, the only thing is I have to take up educational course to be
Yeah. Yeah.
professional.
Yeah.
So that thing is really moving the teachers from non-professional to be more professional to deliver
Yeah.
effectively in the classroom. That is
Yeah.
what government is doing. Now
What? Yeah.
with a private school is direct. The private schools, most of them are non-professional teachers. Majority of teachers in the private schools are non-professional. Yet sometimes people believe that despite they not being professional teachers, they are still delivering and the kids are performing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will leave that to
To
at the comment
debate.
section for whatever debate that will go on there. But
Yeah.
uh, with most of them are non-professional, they are in a private school, they are delivering, and with the teacher licensing, you see everything, there's a but there. Now government is introducing a policy to license every teacher, being a public or private.
Private. Oh
So even if you are
wow.
in a private
Private
school,
school.
to teach in a private, you still need a license. So if
Yeah.
you're non-professional, you have to take up educational programs
And get a
to
license.
get a
Yeah.
license.
Yeah.
So you
So
can see that
now,
such a policy is really
yeah.
helping.
Yeah. So now they're doing like control. I mean, they're not leaving the entire control of the private service to the private individuals. They wanna
No,
make sure they make the quality of education, like equal across the board. And
exactly,
that's good.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, what about retention? Do teachers want to stay teachers, or are they drifting away from education into into other fields?
That's
into other fields.
that's a very complicated question. I read a research that was conducted in Ghana, someone thesis, and the person made an assumption that in every 5 years, teachers feel like quitting from their
Mm,
job in Ghana here. Well,
mm,
with retention policies, government is coming in with so many things. To government, maybe they think that they are doing everything possible to make the teacher stay,
yeah,
and the teacher himself is probably trying to do everything to stay. Now there are so many things that government is doing. Now when you want to continue your education, let me start with, there's a steady leave policy where
yeah,
the teacher can go to school and still get paid. So if right now I want to continue my education in a public school, I only need to fulfill some requirements, then I
yeah,
can go for a regular school, leave the classroom to continue my education, and government
yeah,
will still pay me as a teacher.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
that can be favorable for someone to stay. After all, even if I want to go to school,
yeah.
government will come in and still,
Sponsor your
support me.
education. Yeah,
Aha,
yeah,
government is still in. And there are some teacher unions in Ghana that are providing some kind of services to teachers in order
mm,
to make them stay.
mm.
Currently, I think all teachers in public schools, I don't know whether is it government, they are all going to have a laptop.
That's good.
All
Yeah,
teachers in public school, they are all going to be, they are all going to have
with
a
a
laptop.
laptop.
It's a policy that is coming in the public
Yeah,
school. Though I learned some percentages, I don't have facts on that. But what we are hearing is that every teacher in a public school is going to, be given a laptop. So
right,
all these things are some way, though to some others, they prefer other means to stay. But to them,
right,
they think that they are doing all these things to make the teacher feel comfortable and stay.
right,
That
right,
is what
right,
they are doing.
right.
Good. Government is equally providing some professional development trainings for them. As I said, there's a new policy, a new curriculum coming, there's a new transition. Government is
Training.
providing some training and other
Yeah,
things for teachers to stay. Government
yeah,
is equally paying for, is giving teachers professional allowance, those in a public school.
right.
The professional allowance is for you to take professional programs. So
Yeah,
government will pay
wow.
for you so that you use that money to take professional programs. All these are policies government is doing to make teachers feel at home, to
Yeah,
maybe deliver in a classroom. That is what government is doing.
to make them
Now with
stay.
the to make them stay, to
Yeah,
make them stay. Yes.
yeah.
Basically that is what is happening. That
Okay.
is what is happening.
Okay, so let's go to the curriculum. In the United States, for instance, there's the Common Core curriculum, and about 41 states or so have adopted it. Some states adopted it, they let it go because our states are individual as well. They are autonomous states in the United States, and they can choose to take whatever policies or practices in education they want to adopt. Nobody can force them, you know. So, but the initial idea was for all states to use it as a uniform standard of learning, at all levels of education. But like I said, you have a choice. You can pick it or you don't want to pick it, you know. Also, there are private curriculums, curriculi, I think, and in addition to the Common Core, it's just that the Common Core is like a base from which all other curriculi are um, derived from. So tell me about Ghana's curriculum. Is it one for all the states in Ghana, or every individual state has decided to have their own individual curriculum?
Okay, thank you. Uh, as you know, my earlier submission, if you can, I was talking about curriculum, and
Yeah,
I think you agree with me that the curriculum of the country really define everything, the educational atmosphere, the school culture.
yeah,
Curriculum really redefine a lot of things in the system.
yeah.
Now, as I said earlier, we are in transition. We are moving from the old curriculum to something new. You
Right.
made mention of Common Core. Yes, our country, the new curriculum coming is the Common Core curriculum
Oh,
for the
wow.
junior high school. Yes,
Okay.
those in the basic school, they are using the standardized base curriculum.
Okay.
The standardized base
Base
curriculum. So,
curriculum.
and it's national. It's national.
Okay.
We have 16 regions in Ghana, and every region, that is what they are using. Every school in Ghana, that is what they are
What
using.
they're
The Common
using.
Core, yes, the Common
Yeah.
Core curriculum and the standardized base. Now, the Common Core curriculum is currently they have introduced it. The curriculum is in. We are waiting for government to train teachers so that they will use it in the junior high school because they are come to use the Common Core curriculum. But the standardized base was introduced before the COVID.
Hmm.
Yes, and
Hmm.
when you look at the standardized based curriculum that is being used in a primary school,
Hmm.
it's wonderful.
Hmm.
It has really shifted the kind of teacher centered activities to
Hmm.
learner based activity,
Hmm.
where every activity is done by the learner. We are only there as a coach or as a facilitator or as a
Yeah.
guide.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
see that there's a hands-on activity. There's so much activity. They have
Yeah.
incorporated a lot of internet, a lot of activity for the kids to engage in. A lot of
Yeah.
presentation. In fact, it's one of the beautiful things that I see in the educational system now.
System.
The
Hmm.
curriculum is one of the beautiful, despite the challenges. As for the challenges,
It's,
we can't finish today. So many
yeah.
challenges, but I'm sure with time is here to stay, so things can really, move around. So with government schools, the public schools, they are all using one. But when you come
Okay.
to the private
Private
school,
school. Yeah.
I think government has given them the opportunity. So there are private school in Ghana that they are running the IB, they are running the Cambridge curriculum,
Mm-hmm.
and they can equally run the government or the standardized base or the common core equally. But the private school, they have the opportunity
Hmm.
to
To
run
choose.
international curriculums.
Yeah.
Yes. But the public schools, you have no option than to go with the national curriculum.
Wow.
But the private schools,
They
they are
switch
open to.
whatever. Yeah.
Yes, yes. The Cambridge curriculum is quite common in Ghana here. Most of the schools are running it. The IB, very common. And
Hmm.
they really charge high school fees. It's so expensive to be in a private school,
Private
especially
school.
schools that run the international curriculum.
Yeah.
They charge high. They charge
Yep.
high.
That's a selling base because they have to pay their teachers.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
Okay. So now let's come to this whole debate about STEM and STEAM. What
yes,
what about STEM and STEAM in the curriculum in Ghana curriculum? How is the
yes,
Ghanaian curriculum addressing STEM, science, technology, engineering, and maths, or
yes.
the new one where they have the A, which is arts, science, technology, engineering, arts, and maths, mathematics?
Yes.
How is the Ghanaian curriculum addressing STEM and STEAM?
All right. Thank you very much for that. Dr. Brenda, with the STEM, uh, as I said earlier, we are in transition with the new
Mm-hmm.
curriculum. So when you
Mm-hmm.
look at the new curriculum, you can see that there are so much focus on the STEM subjects in the basic
Mm.
schools.
Yeah.
Even with our common timetable, our lesson schedules, government or the policies has given more room for STEM subjects, the science, the technology, the
Technology,
mathematics.
engineering, yeah.
It has given so much room. So it's obvious that we are really on course when it comes to the STEM. We are really, really on course because there are so many opportunities that the government is coming in. And one thing I want to talk about is that there are so many NGOs that are currently in purposely to support the STEM growth and development.
Sure.
We can talk about Ghana Society for Educational Technology. They are currently supporting the STEM. We have the Practical Educational Network,
Hmm.
seriously into STEM education. So many of them. And when I want to talk about the STEM, despite government, putting so much resources, creating room,
Yeah.
providing science teachers the opportunity to upgrade, providing workshop for some specific areas, purposely for them
Right.
to go, NGOs are really working the magic when it comes to the STEM. They are really giving the practicality aspect. So confidently, almost 80% of the NGOs in education, they are all providing the STEM support. They
Okay.
are all providing the STEM support. And
Yeah.
government equally is providing policies, creating room for, the schools to get the exposure that they need to have when it comes to STEM education in Ghana.
What about arts? What about painting, music, dance? What about language in your curriculum?
Yes.
How are you in schools? Are they doing English and Ghanaian language? What's Ghanaian language, by the way? What do you speak? What do you speak?
Okay.
What's it called?
Oh, there are so many, with the ethnic groups, every
Okay.
ethnic group comes with a kind of language
Just
they
like
speak.
Nigeria as well.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
Yoruba, the Igbo,
The
yes. In
Igbo, the
Ghana here,
Hausas.
yes, we have so
Okay.
many ethnic groups. We have the Twi, we have the Fante, we have the Ewe, we
Okay.
have the so many languages. We have Kasim in the northern part of Ghana. We have a lot of languages around that schools have
What about French?
incorporated. Oh
Germany.
yes, yes. We schools run French. Even public schools, they have French lessons.
Hmm.
We have French teachers that teach in every public school. They have French
Hmm.
teachers
French classes.
that,
Okay.
yes, they have French classes that is seriously on our timetable that most of them get the exposure. Then with the languages and art, the new
Yeah.
curriculum, there is something called performing arts,
Okay.
creative arts. A lot of things are coming in. In fact, that's why I'm talking about the transition is a miracle. It's a
Yeah.
game changer. It's a new plan. And
Yeah.
it's, putting into consideration all these areas, boxing them together as one. So we have the performing arts, and that's a new thing students are very happy about.
Hmm.
They are learning music, they are getting the exposure, they are having arts, they have a
Hmm.
lot of things. The new curriculum is going to address a lot of
All of
issues.
that.
We are only praying that the implementation work positively and teachers, adapt and you really implement what is inside the curriculum.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to curriculum and the usage, the teachers really using what is inside the curriculum, people believe that most of the things they ignore, most of the things they skip. So we are only hoping that they really go by the curriculum, modify it positively to suit
Mm-hmm.
the learner to really
Hmm.
understand things better. So with the STEM and the STEAM, is in fact this year is in Ghana to stay.
Hmm.
Is in Ghana to stay. When you take the learning schedules, we have the national learning schedule. You can see that they give more room for mathematics. A
Right.
child can have mathematics lesson the whole week, Monday to
Right.
Friday.
Right.
A child can have uh, IT,
Yeah.
ICT, Monday to 3 days. But when
Three
it
days a
comes
week.
to the reading, like the history, like
Yeah.
our world, our people, social studies, we have
Right. Less
less time on the
hours.
timetable. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
government is really, really, really promoting the STEM and the STEAM in Ghana here. Yes.
What about special needs? Because in the United States, that's a major, major aspect of education, where students with all kinds of special needs, attention deficit disorder, hearing issues, speech defects, all kinds of issues that special needs education can meet, you know. How is that in Ghana? Because in Nigeria, when I was growing up, even in the educational system, special needs was not emphasized at all. If you don't know anything, you're dumb. If you
Wow.
can't learn as fast as your friends, you then you don't get to go to the next class. But nobody is addressing the fact that some people learn faster than others. People learn at different paces. People have learning disabilities.
Sure.
All of these people can't see, people can't hear, students have all kinds of issues that may prevent them from learning like a regular child with no issues at all. So how is that in Ghana? Special needs education, is it emphasized? Do you have special needs teachers or special education? How is that addressed?
All right. Thank you very much. In Ghana here, we run all inclusive education, especially at the universities. You can go to the university, you can see those who are visually impaired in class with people that can see.
Okay.
Now, with our basic schools in Ghana, there are rooms that are created for special needs. Now,
Okay.
we don't segregate based on academic, what do you call it,
Performance.
growth or
Yeah.
performance.
Okay.
Yes, we teachers are encouraged to use the differentiation instructional method, where the teacher must differentiate lessons to suit every learner.
Every learner.
Yes, that's why, and all these things are addressed in the new curriculum.
Hmm.
All these issues are addressed in the new curriculum. Now, in some private schools, they have a special teacher. Even in the public schools, they even have special teacher that
Hmm.
specifically to attend to children. They
With
sometimes
special
merge with the
needs.
guidance and counseling unit where they identify children with learning problems and difficulties and handle
Right.
them. And we try, unless probably it's extreme special need, where probably the child may refer or probably the child may require a specialist to deal with. If not,
Okay.
we don't segregate, we don't, it's all inclusive. So the
Hmm.
teacher's ability to differentiate instructional method to suit every learner is what is currently happening in Ghana. And the new curriculum is really addressing that.
This just came to my mind. In your classrooms in public school, do you have a number of children for each class? Maybe 30 students in junior secondary school, one per class. Do you have that kind of thing? And teacher to child ratio, like one teacher to 30 students, or two teachers to 40 students? How do you do that in your classrooms?
Well, in our classrooms with the public schools, remember we are running a free compulsory education. So the numbers that we are currently having in our public schools is, to me, I
A
think,
lot.
is not healthy. Government must expand infrastructures because
Yeah.
some schools can have as high as 60 students in a
In a
class.
class. Oh,
Yes,
wow.
meanwhile, the standardized level is 32 or can be 34, but some schools have more. And
Hmm.
you can't deny a child because the class is full. You
Right,
still have
right.
to, create room for the
Try
child
to
to be in
teach
a
them.
classroom. Yeah,
Yeah.
so as for the public schools, the teacher ratio is very high. There are so many students in a classroom with,
And one teacher.
one teacher, and that is making the instructional, delivery quite difficult
Hmm.
as compared to the private schools. Some private schools run a policy of one teacher to 15 students. Some
Right,
private schools are running a policy 1:20. Some
right,
private schools are running as low as 10 because of
right,
what they want to achieve, their plan
right.
and their goals. But with the public schools, it's too,
It's too much. Too many
it's too
children
much.
in one
It's
class. Yeah,
too much, too much.
yeah. I
But
remember.
sometimes I believe it's better than they being on the street and not even coming to
Right,
school. So
right,
government must expand infrastructure. That is
right.
what we are praying that government should do that.
Yeah. I remember once when I did my teacher training in Nigeria. I went to a teacher training college, and then
Great.
after your teacher training college, you had to go do practical at a school. And
Yes.
there was a day that two teachers, I mean I had a class to myself as a teacher training student. I had a class to myself, and those students were about 30 of them. And then the other two classes, their teachers were not in school, and they had to combine with my class. So
Wow.
I had about 90 children, teacher training students in
Wow.
my class. Yeah, that day was rough. Nobody listened. Nothing happened that day. No learning. So, so I
It's
can
not
get it. And
easy.
yeah, it is terrible. I know how some African schools can be, and I wish at some point that problem can be taken care of. The racial
Exactly.
problem. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
So in the United States, extracurricular activities is very important. Like sports, dancing, music, whatever the child wants to do after school. Parents, even during school as well, is very important for the students to engage in extracurricular activities that are not really academic per se, but they help the child's growth as well. I
Yes.
remember in Nigeria, they had the inter-house sports competition where classrooms were competing against classrooms in field events, in basketball, in soccer, all kinds of sports. They did that once a year. So each classroom had a team that will represent them at the inter-house sports, and every day or once a week, I can't remember, we had to practice for inter-house sport. And then one day of the year was inter-house sports day, and we all went to the stadium, and they
Yes.
did their thing, and somebody won the cup, and all of that. I don't know if they still do it. I have to find out. But how is Ghana in terms of extracurricular activities?
Exactly. Exactly. It's the same thing that is happening in Ghana. It's
Okay.
the same thing with the sports. As you are saying, we run inter schools competition.
Oh
Then
yeah.
after
Oh,
inter schools, some school run inter districts in
okay.
competition.
Right.
Then when you win there, you represent. You go to inter regionals. You
Hmm.
represent the region at sporting competition. As you say, we all meet at stadium. We cheer them up. then they win. And sometimes all these guys that comes out as winners, get some free or sponsorship into the universities and even compete or join the university games and other stuff. So it's just the same thing that we are running in Ghana. Yes,
That's
it's just a COVID that has redefined. It's one of the problems that I think we are facing now with the PE, with the extracurricular, is the COVID. Now, that kind of exercise and other things, we don't do it again. Because we don't want to put them together, they breathe, they sweat, and we just don't want to compromise. Seriously, we don't want to compromise. So it's been a year now, no extracurricular activity. It's academics. It's academics. That is what we are doing.
Okay. So you did touch on this a little bit. You talked about mathematics as a major or as a core subject, and it's taught like 5 days a week, and every child has to do it whether they like it or not. Can you tell me about other subjects that are core, just like mathematics?
Yes. So Ghana here we have at the basic school and even at the senior high school we have mathematics, science, English, and social studies. These are the 4 basic cores. The rest are electives that you do. Yeah. So these are the 4 cores: English, science, mathematics, and social studies. That is what you do. Even at the basic school and the senior high school, these are the 4 core. It's compulsory for you. It's compulsory. You have to get all these fundamentals, then you move on. Yes.
And all the way through to senior high. All of those subjects, okay.
Yes. English, math, science, and social studies is core. Yes. But now we have the new curriculum has changed their names.
Okay.
The new curriculum has changed their name. Now mathematics, we are going to call it numeracy.
Oh wow.
English is now going to be called literacy.
Oh wow.
So there's a change in name.
Which makes it broader. Makes it broader.
But science is still science. So that's yes.
Wow. Wait, science is still science. Does science include like physics, chemistry, biology?
No, good. Wait, at the junior level, they do what you call integrated science. That comprises all these things:
they did
physics,
that in
chemistry. So it's a core subject. So within the core, you touch on all these aspects.
Right.
So we call it integrated science at the basic level. But when you go to the senior high school, you have the right to go in for pure science. But when you're doing the pure science, you still do your core subject, which is the science, the numeracy, the literature. You still do.
Wow.
You still do. So a science major student will have a huge advantage in core science, the integrated science. That is how things are.
Okay. We're almost done. I know we've been here for a while.
I thought it's just going to be 30 minutes interview.
Oh my
wow,
God.
I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. Great.
It's amazing talking to you. It's just amazing. How is testing and assessment like? For students, how are they assessed from class to class? What about teachers? How do you know who's doing their work? Who is helping the students learn? Who isn't? How is testing like in Ghana?
Okay, all right. Now, as we said, with the student testing, I think at the basic level, the BECE, we have national board that they conduct the BECE for the basic schools. Right. That's with the old things that we're doing. Then we have the senior high school that I believe Nigeria will partner, the WAEC. The WAEC that we all write, the West
African Education Council.
That one we all write it. Yes. But with the new curriculum coming, I think there are reforms coming that we are not going to write those things. I'm sure we are going to have an alternative exams body purposely for that. But it's still, issues, implementation is still coming. We are still reading to see the dynamics that they will bring on board. We don't know what change in government will be, because one of the issues that we have is that when there's a change in governance, there's a huge change in policies.
Of course.
That is one of our biggest problems in the educational sector. Everyone comes in with his own policies to run. Yes. Now, with the teacher assessment, in public schools, we have what we call supervisors. The old ways we're calling them circuit supervisors, but the new policies reforms, they've given them a new name. So they will come around and supervise the teacher's
The
work,
teacher. So
see if
wow.
the teacher is at the level. So
Yeah.
internally, your headmaster is supervising you. Occasionally, we have the supervisors that will come
From
around
the
to
state.
supervise.
Oh
Yes, to
wow.
check you. That's the state. They'll come in and just check you.
Yeah.
Now, we have a lot of things in the private schools. The private schools, the supervision is very high there in the private
Hmm.
schools
Hmm.
because they come in periodically.
To
They have
check them.
appraisal. They have a
Yeah.
lot of supervision. You can't play. You can't joke. You can't be the system in the
Hmm.
private schools. Most of the private schools, the supervision is very high. So
Hmm.
that is how supervision and assessment is currently like in Ghana.
In Ghana. Okay. So this is the final question, and
Wow.
it is very important part of education. It's student discipline. You know,
Wow.
in Nigeria, when I was in Nigeria, and even some schools now still use corporal punishment, where you have a cane, you flog the child, or you make them do yoga poses, kneel down, put your hands up, and all of that. But coming to America here, nothing like corporal punishment. It's all it's there's a new push for positive discipline. You don't yell at the child, you redirect the child, you don't curse at them. They can sit down. So like in the preschool level, depending on their age, if a child is 2 years old, there's no use actually punishing a 1 year old child,
Yeah.
but like if a child is 2, they can sit down for 2 minutes. If the child is 3, they can sit down for 3 minutes, and so on and so forth. But you have to calm down your voice and explain to them, this is what you did, this is how you should do next time. You redirect them to do the right thing. There's no flogging. My kids, when they see a cane, is a toy. You know,
Not in Africa.
when we used to see a cane, our heart would be like boom, boom, boom,
Yes.
boom, boom.
Hmm.
So how is discipline? How is discipline like in Ghana? Currently, I know
Well,
things are changing
well,
too.
Dr. Brenda, the subject of discipline is so complicated, so
Yeah.
complicated in Ghana. I think with this new government, there's a policy that ban corporal punishment.
Okay.
Teachers in before then, corporal punishment was common,
Right.
caning, kneeling, and a lot of things were happening. But the system saw the impact that it was not healthy. So a
Right.
new policy came that really banned the teacher from caning, from any other forms of corporal punishment.
Hmm.
Now, I think, and that has really resulted to most teachers, they think that it has really resulted to a breakdown in discipline.
Oh man.
Yes,
Wow.
most teachers believe that the absence of the cane has really reduced, discipline or probably the academic performance and other
Of
stuff because
children.
people believe that fear and panic is a drive for performance, which I don't
Right.
agree with people. I
No.
don't really agree with them. But
Yeah. There are other
we are
ways.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
But teachers are finding it difficult to adapt to the new ways of, discipline.
Hmm.
They are finding it very, 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 very difficult because how will maybe previous years the king has always been your intervener or the king has
Yeah.
always been your spokesperson. When you
Yeah.
lift the cane, then
There's
like
quiet.
silence.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
so now that you are not going to lift the cane, but rather use positive other things, it's difficult for teachers to adapt.
To adapt.
And
Yeah.
most teachers think that the kids are now running the system because the child knows that you can't cane me, you can't do this to me, you can't do this to me. So they
Yeah.
think that there's a break in discipline.
Yeah.
But as we said earlier, we are trying to get there. There's a ban
Right.
in Ghana. You don't have the right to cane. You don't have the
Right.
right to do anything.
To
But
flog a child. Yeah.
you have no other option than to use the positive discipline as we talked about.
So you have to adapt.
Most schools are using the brain aligned kind of discipline where they
Hmm.
have to talk to the child to understand why he's wrong and
Hmm.
understand why this must be done. So even other things like grounding the child, explaining to the child, taking the child to the disciplinary board to
Right.
have a feel that though we are not using the cane, but the school have, we have a lot of ways to handle indiscipline in the school. But
Right.
the greatest spokesperson that is no more with us, that is the cane.
It's
It
cane.
is really making teachers, have a tough time as we speak, a huge tough time. But
Yeah.
the policy has been there for long, and I'm sure with as the years are going by, teachers know you can't cane, because when you cane, the supervisors come and see, and you have a lot of questions to answer. So you have no other option than to adopt. That is why Prime Choice Educational Consult, the consultancy, we are trying to, see what is
Introduce.
happening. Because you are running the positive form of discipline, and it is with you. How are you doing it? How are you handling these things? So let's have that experience with somebody, to come and tell us. Because a policy is a policy. When you go against it, you are going against the government. And when you are going against government policies, then indirectly you are against the laws of the state. So you need to adapt. And that is what I'm trying. We are trying in Ghana. Most of the consultancy services are trying to let teachers adapt to the system, that this is what is happening. Learn other ways of, bringing discipline to the classroom. Accept it, and let's work with it. Because the 21st century child must not be tortured. People believe that the caning is, and you see, the caning, most people were arguing that the caning is, but people were abusing it. And I think that's what made government, institute way of banning it. If you watch some videos that were trending of how some students were being abused, you will not even feel like going to school again.
No.
So the only means is to just place a ban, introduce teachers to positive and brain aligned form of that discipline for everyone to adapt, for us to move forward. In the private schools, the discipline is not. The private schools are really, really implementing the no caning discipline. Because the private schools, they really want to reach a standard. So they have really banned all these things, and it's well done in the private schools. But in the public schools, that teachers believe that the kind of case they have are difficult to handle. Most of them think that they deserve the cane, or they want to use the cane. But I'm sure because it's new, we are getting there, and our teachers are really, they'll get us there. I don't know what is happening in Nigeria.
I need to find out, because when I had talked to the Nigerian lady, she said no more corporal punishment.
Great,
So they are now moving towards positive reinforcements and redirection and all of that. But I was going to say that even in the United States, that they've adopted positive reinforcement for a long time, there are still problems. Because discipline is a major thing, that is a major problem in schools, that you really haven't found the problem yet. Everything is experimentation. Because with the positive discipline, there are still children who think like the Africans, Ghanaians will do, and say, well, they're not going to flog me or hit me. I can do whatever. If I like, I learn. If I like, I don't learn. I can walk out on the teacher, and stuff and things like that. So even now, they are talking about, actually, they are implementing, where it's going to take a lot of bad behavior to use suspensions and expulsions. Because I know in Nigeria, even with the flogging, they use suspensions and they use the expulsions, and then you sometimes have to repeat classes as well due to behavior. You can't do that in America. No expulsions, except the crime is really bad. So so they are working on positive discipline. I can't say they are 100% there, like every child is well behaved and all of that. No, but they are using it and they are adapting it, and hopefully, as time goes on and as we learn more about behavior, we can work more on correcting behavior and helping children learn, because behavior is a major disruption to learning. Major. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you 100 million thousand times.
Thank you. It's a great time today. Great
Gosh,
time.
this was
Wow. 1
amazing.
hour, 40 minutes. Great.
Almost 2 hours, and
Wonderful.
it doesn't even look like it. It's like,
Well, I
oh
hope I
my.
didn't break the record.
Oh
I think someone.
no. I think I have a 2 hour. I think I have
Oh
a
no! Then I should have. No, I wanted to break that record. Oh.
Yeah, that was Paraguay. Laura from Paraguay. So
Wow.
Paraguay.
Wow.
Okay, so
Wow.
so
Great,
thank you
great, great.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Oh my
Thank you.
gosh, it's
Thank
been
you. Thank you.
amazing talking to you.
Wonderful.
And
Wonderful.
I
I've
know
learned a
that,
lot.
oh yeah, oh a lot. And Ghana is the gold, now is the in thing. Everybody want to know about Ghana. Before we go, Ghana jollof rice or Nigerian jollof rice?
Yes. I think I gave you the goosey soup. So I think you have to give me the Ghana jollof.
So
I late.
Ghana.
You
All
have to give
right,
me Ghana jollof.
let's give Ghana the jollof rice.
Hey, that's great. Wonderful. That's
Oh my
wonderful. But I
people
really, I
do
really
know.
want to taste Nigerian jollof before I can
And
really, really conclude.
yeah,
Because
it
when I look
is
at the
good.
pictures, really, when I look at the
Yeah.
pictures, I prefer Ghana jollof. But I don't know. When I look at the two pictures, I prefer Ghana jollof.
You
But I really
prefer
want to
Ghana
taste Nigerian
jollof.
jollof. But you see, the fact is that if you
Well,
want to taste Nigerian jollof in Ghana, then it's like, you are even tasting Ghanaian jollof because they
I
are making
know.
it to suit the Ghanaian system. So I'll
Yeah.
travel to Nigeria and take the
And
direct
taste
jollof
the
there.
direct traditional jollof rice.
Wow,
Yeah. It's
wow.
been amazing talking to you, and I'm
Yes,
so glad
yes,
you did this. And I'm willing to work with you, in the
yes.
future, in your
Great, great.
project.